Coach. Iggy also dishing on how KD's Achilles injury was handled. Take a listen.
Everyone's feeding stuff in our head when KD coming back, back.
And the fact that it's the finals.
That's what I'm saying. Last year happened to me. I missed the last 3 games of the Houston series. It goes to game 7. We barely get out of that series. And now they're looking at me like, when you coming back? And I had a fractured leg. But it's being put out there like he got a bone bruise. I'm like, no, it's fractured. But so I'm fighting with the team. I'm fighting with people. I'm fighting with the media. And then my teammates ask me every day, how you feeling? How you feeling?
You played under Mark Jackson for a year, right? Now, whatever happened to Mark? Because he put that team together, it seems like, and then nobody ever gave him a chance again, which seems weird.
We were just talking about that this morning, and I just talked about it earlier, about playing a part. But if that's not who you really are, you can't play the part, or you can't play the politics game. And I think it was a lot of that. Like, we were huge fans of Mark, the players. He was the ultimate players coach.
You think Mark Jackson is blackballed from the NBA?
I do, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
That's a lot of information there. Blackballed, bone bruise versus fracture. Shannon, what's your reaction to everything Iggy had to say?
Skip, I told my grandmother, you say, boy, there are 3 people that'll tell you the truth. Drunks, kids, and angry people. And I guess there's a 4th if he or she is peddling a book. Because he's peddling a book, The 6th Man, a memoir. Oh, Skip Bayless. Andre Iguodala, because I'm listening. I didn't know at the time. I had to do some research because I've listened to it yesterday. I've listened to snippets. I was like, why is he spilling all this? Why is he going on this repentance tour? I'm like, what's going on? Oh, okay. So now I see, because Skip, not only is he throwing people under the bus, he's driving the bus. He ran over, bloop, bloop. I don't know if I got you good. He backed up and bloop, bloop, run him again, and then bloop, bloop, right over the top of him.
True.
But Andre Iguodala offered you a glimpse in how it works. And I said this, Skip, because I've been a professional athlete. I don't know if people realize that, but you do.
When was that?
It was a long time ago. 15 years. It was 15
You
years.
just turned 51. That was
Don't worry about what I turned.
Ancient history.
Don't worry about it. I still look good for 51. That what
You do. I give you that.
I look good for any age. Don't be talking about 50. Oh, you look good for 51. I look good for
You look
any
good
age.
for 51.
I look good for any age. But anyway, let me get back to my point. Skip, what this, and I said the team will never tell an injured player, you will play. But what they do is that they keep planting the seeds, not only to you, but they plant it with your teammates. You heard Andre Iguodala say they get like, oh, you okay? I mean, everything all right? When you gonna get back out there, bro?
Yep.
Man, boy, we had you. This thing wouldn't even be close. Knowing the competitive nature of athletes. Yeah, it starts getting into your head. Man, I need to get out there. And they keep planting that seed. Now, Iggy said he had a fractured leg. They said it was a bone bruise.
Oof.
So if I'm Kevin Durant, I said, hold on, wait a minute.
Thank you.
You told me I had a calf injury. All the while, it's being reported Kevin Durant's very, very upset with the diagnosis that he got from team staff. We'll get back to that, Skip. The pressure to play, especially because it seems like because Peter Gruber, Skip, I forget the article, but you just a couple of months ago, how they were light years in terms of everybody. And by the time they catch you, by the time the rest of the NBA caught up, they would be gone again.
You mean
Peter Gruber, the
I
owner?
think it was Joe Lacob who said that.
Was it Lacob?
I believe Lacob.
It was Lacob. It was Lacob. I'm sorry. My fault. It was Joe Lacob.
Yeah.
We're
light years ahead.
Light years.
He did.
And when the rest of the NBA catches up with us, we're going to be gone again. We'll be light years ahead of them again. In other words, we be lying. And we be lying to the players. Skip, this is not good. This is really not a good look for the Golden State Warriors. And it's a worse look for the NBA because it goes to show you that they prioritize winning over an individual. And this is why I tell guys, look, you better go get your second opinion. Because at the end of the day, the team doctors, I understand he takes an oath, but he took another oath, a paycheck oath. And it's coming from the team, not from you. So you go get somebody that's on your payroll and you get them to give you a proper diagnosis, that they have your best vested interest at mind. Skip, the Mark Jackson, you nor I are surprised what Iggy said about Mark Jackson. Because I can't fathom, the man can't get a call. Forget Skip, okay, he got interviewed and said they want to go somewhere else. But we see some of these guys that's getting recycled. Frank Vogel done got a job, done got 2 jobs before this man done got a call. He can't get a call.
Okay.
I hate the term blackball. because it has negative connotation. I mean, anytime you say something black, you know, they're in the black market, black magic, you know, black ball. I say white ball. Because, see, white ball, they have the fake. See, if you get black ball in our community, Skip, what would it do? That means we don't talk to you.
Yeah.
We can't prevent you from doing anything.
Yep.
But when you get white ball, they can prevent you from doing things, like having a job in the NBA or playing quarterback in the NFL.
It's a good point. Yep.
And he said, you know, Mark is very devout in his beliefs.
He is.
And his beliefs do not necessarily coincide. And Andre was speaking about you have to play the political game. Also, Mark has to understand that the country and where he coaches, they're very open-minded. And his beliefs didn't necessarily coincide with their beliefs. Now, I don't know if the owners, Joe Lacob and Peter Gruber, went to him and said, Mark, you need to tone this rhetoric down. I don't know what happened. But if they come to you and they say, you know, you need to tone this down, this is not the time or the place, well, you're going to have to, you know, keep your views to yourself and keep it moving. But for me, I think he's learned. I mean, Mark is who he is. I understand that being Mark is a couple of years older than I am, and we come from a part of the crunch in the South, Skip, that, you know, certain things, we weren't as open-minded when I was growing up as we are now. You live and you learn because you
Mark's not from the South.
No, he's from New York, but I'm saying we're that age.
Okay.
But, you know, Skip, and for me, you look at people like, I dislike them because what? They want to marry. You like somebody, you love somebody, you love somebody. Now, you know, as I got older, I judge a person by how they treat me. Not who they with. Care less. You marry a goat, marry a car. As long as you treat me good, I'm cool with you. I'm a people, not what you do. You know, how you treat me, okay, I'm going to treat you the same, not who you with. So I'm not surprised, but we knew a lot of this, Skip. You covered the game far too long. You know how it works in the NBA. I think Andre offered the fans, the casual fan, and people that don't know how the league, the teams actually work. He gave you a glimpse inside. He pulled the curtain back and said, see, it's really all about one thing. It's about winning. And they will sacrifice the players' health in order to win.
So my big picture takeaway from reading all of these responses from Andre on the Breakfast Club yesterday, two things. I think even though he had said in days previous that he's convinced Kevin Durant is going to re-sign with Golden State, I think he just made that a lot harder with his confessions.
Right.
And on Mark Jackson, which I'll get to in just a moment, I'm not sure he did Mark's case any good in getting another job in the NBA because it dredges up a lot of the old details, many of them highly controversial. Just not sure that was the best thing to say at that moment. But back to Kevin Durant, to your point, when you say that they lied about your bone bruise, that it was actually a fracture, which I had never heard.
No.
So you forced him in a way. You sort of emotionally forced him.
Right.
And he said his teammates were all saying, "You good?
You good? When you coming back?
Coming back?" To come back with a fracture of some kind and play in the NBA Finals because he did play in those games, sparingly, but he did play and he played pretty well. So if you're saying, if you put it in the Kevin Durant context, then it feels like that they misled Kevin. That's the inference you're making, right? Well, why would Kevin want to rejoin that? Why would he re-sign with that?
You wouldn't.
Okay.
Especially after that group. Skip, it's hard for me to trust. Look, if I have an injury like that, Skip, it's hard for me to regain the trust that you're going to be 100% honest with me moving forward. I don't know how KD gets that back with this team.
Yep, I agree. To Mark Jackson. I know Mark, and I'm a fan of Mark.
So am I.
And I do believe he did a terrific job with the young team. Because remember, he had Steph and Clay very young, as Clay was a rookie in his first year. So they go 23-43, and then they went 47-35. They lost to my Spurs in 6 games, and it was a hellacious battle in the first round. And then they go 51-31. It's pretty great.
Right.
And they lose to the Clippers in round 1 in 7 games. And it was a knockdown, drag-out. So those players still love him because he taught them how to play NBA basketball.
Especially defense.
He laid all the groundwork for the dynasty that was about to rise out of that. But I'm going to use another Joe Lacob quote here. When Mark was fired, Joe Lacob's quote was, part of it was he couldn't get along with anyone else in this organization. So we transcend all of his staunch religious viewpoint, and he is a pastor.
Yes.
He is called Pastor Mark. But beyond that, Mark is his own man, and I know him well enough to tell you he's got like Jimmy Butler in him. He won't back down to anybody.
That's
so
the New York City in him.
You got it. That is true. And so it's his way. It's not the organization way. No, I do it my way.
Right.
And don't you come in my office, anybody above him, owners, executives, don't come in my office and tell me how we're going to run this ship.
Right.
I run it.
Right.
And after a while, if you push back hard enough upstairs,
Push your ass out.
they'll push you right out the back
will.
door. And you know how it works.
Yes.
And that's just life in America, right? Life
Yeah,
anywhere.
it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So again, staunch in his beliefs, and some people believe highly controversial
Right.
stances, and we could go on and on about that, but it was bigger than that.
Right.
Because he did want to preach to his players, and a lot of them at that point, it was a very Christian team.
Right.
And a lot of them went to his church with him.
Right.
And on Wednesday night, he would preach to the team if you chose to come.
Right.
And they would stream it back to his church, which he had at that point in Van Nuys, which is here in Southern California.